Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and a phenomenal weekend of Call of Duty has now concluded here at the Stage 3 Major. Some unbelievable storylines we're going to be diving into today, chief among which this morning being OpTic Chicago's resurgence these past several days. Honestly, it was only a few days ago this team looked pretty much dead in the water. Now they look like they can compete with the best once again, and with LAN just around the corner, can they continue to improve? Intrigued to take your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you were new, as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. But first of all though, congratulations once again to Atlanta FaZe, back on top, Major 3 champions. Now when these guys won the first Major, at that point they hadn't even lost a series in the CDL. Right now they're probably sitting at something crazy like 20-4 in terms of series count. But at the time there was a question mark, okay, how many Majors are they going to lose? Already, you know, how many Majors are they going to win? How many Majors are they going to lose is the real question. And now they've won the third Major after coming in the Grand Finals once again at the second Major. Can they do it at Stage 4, Stage 5? The World Championship, who really knows right now? I mean, they're kind of proving again they can clutch up in these Grand Finals where it's been a little bit questionable for them, well, so far in their career, of course, at least these last couple of years, the Atlanta FaZe career, since that's really been arrived as a thing in Call of Duty, and Arcitys in this, in this team now seems to be having a phenomenal effect on this squad. Some of the reaction as well from the New York guys after their defeat yesterday. Clayster not particularly happy with how his team was playing in those final couple of matches, and it was Clayster's what his words, the night after a loss. But there is another team right up there with, I think the top 3 right now, a lot of people are going to consider to be FaZe, no doubt, Toronto Ultra, and also the Subliners, the way they've been playing these last couple of weeks. But OpTic really looked close to these teams. Certainly they could have beaten Toronto Ultra. Who knows what they would have done if they'd have continued on in the bracket up against Atlanta FaZe. Certainly would have been difficult, but then no other team this weekend had a map win streak as long as 10, which is what OpTic had this weekend. They had a 10 map win streak from losing the first map against Los Angeles Guerrillas on the Friday, beating 3 games against them, then winning 3 games up against Dallas, then winning 3 games on the bounce up against Florida Mutineers, of course, and then winning the first map up against Toronto Ultra. That was a 10 map win streak, which was very impressive, the longest one on the weekend, certainly. As Clay says though, our man that hurts lost to FaZe 5-2. GG to them, and thanks for the support this past weekend. So New York, maybe they can bounce back going forwards. This league is just so competitive right now, you don't really know what's going to be happening. Even when FaZe do win championships, it's far from easy for them. This time they had to battle through the losers bracket. There's certainly maybe some questions we can talk about tomorrow or in coming days with regard to the format here, because the last couple of tournaments now, the team that's won the thing has come from the loser's side, which probably shouldn't be so easy for them to do so, you could certainly argue. This also is a very interesting question with regard to the Search and Destroy map set that we may see being changed, because on Thursday, Standoff arrives in the game, and we're going to imagine that that's going to come in for one of the Search and Destroy maps. Miami and Checkmate are the 2 that are really up in the air. I do wonder the way this will go, because I still kind of think that Miami is a better Search and Destroy map than Checkmate is, but the pros don't seem to like Miami. It doesn't get played all that often. Checkmate Search and Destroy does have its moments, even though it's not great, I don't think, by any means. Relevant stats, and some other people here certainly hoping that we never see it again in competitive play, but who knows? If it's up to the pros, I would not be surprised at all if they decide to vote out Miami Search and Destroy over Checkmate Search and Destroy, given that most of them seem to prefer Checkmate right now. But well, who knows? Hopefully Standoff will be a step in the right direction for maybe all the game modes. Who knows what's exactly going to go on there, whether it's going to be viable for control as well, whether it's Apocalypse that'll go out. The pros, of course, will have to come to their decisions in the coming days. Roster Mania also a question mark. We're going to talk about one of the key teams that may have to get involved in stuff like this later today. But as Chrome says right here, I'm told that Ravens could be in for another roster switch heading into Stage 4. They simply cannot stop with the roster changes this season. Zapchis' contract apparently is likely expiring or already expired. Alex could be making his way back to the starting roster. We hadn't really heard too much about Alex. Of course, he went home for personal reasons in March. Apparently, he might be back in the team alongside the rest of the guys. I mean, Zapchis honestly has been looking pretty good, certainly at this Major. I do wonder if this is a team-led thing, like within their team internally, because I thought that, the vibes on that team seemed pretty good, or whether it's an organization-led thing that they wanted to go down this direction. And as Crone says also, Afro, who's been on the substitute bench as well, touted really as one of the other top European talents in addition to Hydra. Before Hydra got his chance to prove himself this season, he apparently is close to sorting out visa issues. He could be back there as well in Stage 4, of course, beginning on May the 27th. So some time for Ravens to figure it out, but not an awful lot of time by any means. And Zapchis tweets this out, maybe implying that something might be going on here with his spot on the starting team for the Royal Ravens. But, of course, one of the big storylines after this weekend concludes, the Major is over, but the people won the day. Goodbye online tournament. So the group play for next stage and Stage 5 is still going to be done in the online arena that we have seen, but the championship matches are going to be played on LAN, which is phenomenal stuff. Slasher as well saying, look, congrats to FaZe on the win, and good riddance to online majors, hopefully forever. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. And honestly, I think that'll be a great very step in the right direction. If we never get online majors again, I imagine that will indeed be the case. Honestly, awesome for Call of Duty. And, well, what will change when we go back to LAN? That has certainly been one of the biggest questions these last several weeks. And that's been what the OpTic guys were saying, right? Scump has been saying a number of times that when they get back to LAN, his performance and the rest of the team's performance is going to significantly improve. Now, I kind of doubted that claim to some degree when they were looking particularly poor, because at the end of the day, if your teamwork is, well, awful as it was for a time, then, well, you might even struggle more on LAN than you would in an online environment where teamwork, you could argue, is more important because you can't win those bailout gunfights, as people talk about that you can sometimes online due to some internet latency issues that always can affect these online arenas that we have certainly seen these past several weeks. So, back to LAN officially, but also now the fact that OpTic are actually looking significantly better, that it will create an even spicier storyline, to be honest, going into a LAN environment. They got so close here to making top 3. Of course, look, they've placed top 4 again. It's not exactly a spectacular result, but at the end of the day, given where they were, they started in the losers bracket at top 10 if they'd have lost to Los Angeles Guerrillas. They won that, they destroyed the Dallas Empire, they destroyed the Mutineers, and then they come up once again against the Toronto Ultra, a very difficult team to beat and just can't get over the line in the end. I mean, what a series it was. This, if OpTic had won another round 11, it would have been pretty incredible here, but yeah, game 5 round 11s just don't seem to go their way. The game 2 round 11 seem to be perfectly fine for OpTic right now, but the game 5s, they just can't quite get over the line. And Clint expects a nice play here on the final round as well, until, well, he sneaks up Laundry, makes the play, and OpTic fall out of the tournament as we did see last night. Pretty heartbreaking loss once again. Game 5 round 11 doesn't get more difficult to take than that, but when LAN does arrive, it may be a different story for this OpTic team, and there's nothing really too much scarier than when OpTic are on a losers bracket run. They've done it a couple of times in Call of Duty history. They did it at Atlanta way back in Infinite Warfare, whenever it was, when it was Karma, of course, winning the 1 versus 1 against Fastball. If they'd have lost that, they'd have been out top 8. Then they just destroy the entire losers bracket, make it all the way to the grand finals, lost to E United in the end. So there's honestly some crazy losers bracket runs that OpTic have done throughout their history. Also, another one to mention, of course, is their World Championship win in 2017, where they actually went to losers bracket from the winners finals against Envoy, and then brought it back from the losers side in the grand finals, playing phenomenal Call of Duty. So they've done it before. I mean, when a team catches fire, like OpTic were doing this past weekend, they are very difficult to stop. But Ultra just obviously get on another level right now. To some degree, this was a very close series indeed. But yeah, the teamwork from the Ultra was, honestly, they're in spades. And at the OpTic guys, it was certainly much, much better these past several days than we have seen before. And this overall KD standings as well, I thought was pretty remarkable. Dashy with a 1.31 over the Major. I mean, you can see all the OpTic guys are up here. Dylan Envoy with the lowest KD on the OpTic team at a 1.10. And as Scump says, though, just wanted to say thank you for all the support that we got despite the loss. It can get a bit toxic sometimes to see all the love was refreshing. Proud of the team and know how capable the squad is right now. And this is what Clayster had to say on the matter. I have to admit, OpTic looked absolutely terrifying in their losers run. Only 2 IQ people thought that those players wouldn't turn it around. I expect their trajectory to start going up from this point on. This is something that we tend to see with OpTic teams throughout the course of the season. They start off pretty good, they fall off in the middle of the season for whatever reason. They either make a change or they don't make a change, and then they look somewhat better towards the end of the year. Now, whether they can turn that somewhat better into a World Championship victory or, a tournament victory on a LAN environment, it's going to be tough to do so. The league is clearly incredibly competitive right now. With FaZe looking out, they are new or clearly much improved. Toronto Ultra obviously looking phenomenal, and other teams as well. No slouches by any means. It could be significantly improving as well. So much competition in this league right now, there is no doubt about it. But at the same time, OpTic did look pretty terrifying in that losers run. There's no doubt about that. And if they can come out here into stage 4, actually have a good group play, which they've struggled to have so far this season, qualify in a nice way for the winners bracket, then they could make even a better winners bracket run than they had to do through losers this time, with not having a second chance in the tournament, because of course they lost to FaZe and they lost to New York, and they had some difficult series, certainly during the stage 3 regular season. But yeah, honestly, OpTic looking so much better as of late. But yeah, that is the question, I suppose, really, that OpTic, yes, they're looking fantastic. At the end of the day, they still did come top 4, and other teams that's still very good, still improving. Will LAN be the difference maker for this squad to get them over the line to actually winning championships yet again? It's cool to see that they are competitive right now at the very least. I thought this was interesting from MajorManiak, because after there were certainly some people I saw, few and far between. I don't really think these people are true fans in a sense, but I think it was kind of interesting the fact that, yes, I saw some people calling for players to get dropped after that game. I'm like, you've just lost game 5 round 11 to the defending champions. There is honestly no shame in that. As he says, I don't think many understand how competitive the league is right now. More teams have the ability to win than ever before. No shame losing in that fashion to Toronto Ultra, to be honest. It would have been nice to see them get the rematch up against FaZe without the server difficulties, and with the team obviously looking so much better these last several days. The teamwork's very much been there. The individual talent, I think the confidence is back on OpTic, which has been such a key thing for them. again, I think when they were having their tough times in the last couple of weeks, the confidence just seemed to be shot. They didn't really feel like they believed in themselves to do it as a team. Individually as well, you felt like Dashy was having a tough time believing that, well, he can still be one of the best players in the game with the Krig in hand. He's proved that the last couple of days. Once again, the top KD in the major by a 0.15 margin is pretty remarkable on a statistical basis. And as Envoy says as well, he had another phenomenal tournament. Thanks for the continuous support throughout Stage 3. The boys are slowly putting all the pieces together. Also, Tac Flag is OP. Engineer is for the bird. So Engineer, no longer Envoy's using that one. It's now on the Tac Flag wave. And well, maybe that'll send them in the right direction. Now, updated standings. This is pretty interesting to look at. So OpTic technically right now in 5th. I mean, honestly, these points are very interesting at the top end of things, especially given the Dallas Empire have not been looking so great. We'll talk about that later today. But yeah, so FaZe obviously 340 points, dominating the league right now. I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure if FaZe have technically qualified for the World Championship. With all intents and purposes, of course, they certainly have done. There might be some crazy environment where they can lose like every single series for the rest of the season, and then somehow like all the teams down the low can win all their series. I'm pretty sure it's basically impossible that FaZe don't make the World Championships, right? But I'm not 100% sure if any teams has officially been locked in as of yet. Maybe FaZe have. I'm not sure the rest of the guys have right now. But OpTic are down here in 5th. Of course, the seeding for the World Championship is pretty important. I imagine who you're going to play in the first rounds, depending on, okay, where you actually are seeded. So definitely a lot of incentive for these teams to keep on trucking through. And just a couple of interesting things to finish off the video here with this. First of all, we didn't see this yesterday on Moscow. I do wonder if this is something that some teams could pull out to actually try and beat FaZe's phenomenal record on Moscow, that apparently you can sit right here, shoot through this wall, and actually stop people defusing the bomb. There's been a number of spots like this that people have pointed out on a map like, Raid, for example. You've got Express, that you can do kind of similar things. And, this guy's trying to make this wall bang work. Doesn't work out for them in the end. But, yeah, that's pretty incredible stuff. I'm pretty sure you should not be able to do this. This game, for some reason, the walls are just paper thin. But, yeah, maybe I'll just bring this to your guys' attention if you want to try it out in league play, see if it will work for you there, before maybe Trek decide to fix something like this. Because I don't really know if I want to be seeing this pulled out of the World Championship. Because, with all the money on the line, certainly teams may decide to go down this route if they continue to become aware of something like this, and I'm sure some of them certainly are. There's also some interesting stats to finish off the video with regard to the search and destroys in the major that have gone round 11. This here was the updated win percentage. I'm pretty sure OpTic now go to 4 in 6, and of course Toronto won that one, so they're now going to 6 in 3. But yeah, incredible scenes, to be honest. The fact that Empire are actually 7 in 1 so far this season in round 11s. You got to think that sometimes is that ice, which maybe it is to some degree, or at the same time is it, obviously there's luck factor in round 11s to some degree at the very least. Of course, FaZe sitting here at only 2 in 3. They don't tend to go to round 11s. They just win their search and destroys much more convincingly than that on the whole. But yeah, even Empire's season so far, if they'd have had a different result in some of those round 11s, they may be in a significantly different standings to where they are at the present time. And intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Like you enjoyed this content, other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.